Oh, it saves your user. That's nice. If you, the person who are messing with settings on your end, if you change someone's user volume, like for you personally, and then that person comes into the same video call at a later date, it saves the settings.
Hmm.
Man, thank you, Discord. Are you being harassed?
Yeah. Starting early today.
Ain't that just the way? You know, at least they're on top of it.
Why? Why are you screaming at me?
Because you are mother. And they crave violence.
She's just walking around me in circles, meowing. Jump up here if you want to jump up here.
Oliver is asleep in the beanbag.
You're making me dizzy.
Big boy. Look at this adorable mug I got in a gunquit.
Kitties.
I love it. I think it's so cute that it doesn't have a handle, but it's also very hot.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Anyway, how is everyone?
Fine?
Wonderful.
Fine. She keeps acting like she's about to jump up, so I brace myself, and then she doesn't.
So, I have a couple things. Actually, no, I mainly have one thing planned for this episode because I planned this episode keeping in mind, or with the sole thought in mind, that on the day that this releases, Friday, July 21st, will be the release date, the theatrical release date of both Greta Gerwig's Barbie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Two most diametrically opposed of films that so many people, including Kyle and myself, are going to be seeing on the same day. I have always wanted to do two movies in one day. This is the first time I'm doing, like, two movies in a theater in one day. This is the first time I'm doing it, and I'm very excited.
I don't think I've ever done it either, actually.
I don't know why. It's always sounded fun, and I just haven't. But now that's about to change. So the main discussion points for today have to do with the with the whole Barbenheimer thing, which is what people are calling it. But before we get into that, does just anyone have anything they'd like to say about literally anything? Are you being biscuited?
She's sliding around everywhere because you're fine. Not really. I have many things for the worsening, but
Oh, great. So do I.
many. Much worse.
Very proud of us, as always. I mean, well, if that is the case, then we can dive right in. The first thing I would like to discuss is something that I've seen being discussed on Twitter, and I have other people's arguments in the chat for us as like sub discussion points. But let's start with the overall. What is the correct order for the Barbie-Oppenheimer double feature?
I find the use of the word correct very interesting.
I feel like there's a correct answer. I don't know. Or what seems most right.
I don't know, because, like, I feel like maybe it partially depends on your mood on the day.
Interesting.
But
Okay. I will
because, like,
accept that.
if you're in kind of like a, not a great mood, it's been sort of a day, then maybe you start off with Barbie and it kind of like, cheers you up and gets you in better mood for when you get to Oppenheimer.
And then but then that's the thing, then it ruins your day again.
Yeah, but your day was ruined to begin with, and you wouldn't have enjoyed Oppenheimer as much if you hadn't been cheered up first.
Interesting take. Okay. I mean, I didn't really consider the, like, take into account your mood on the day, because I am like, the plan for us is that, like, this is a day TM, like, there's, like, we're gonna get breakfast. I, like, took off of work for this. I am very excited. So, like, I mean, barring some catastrophe, already, like, I'm planning on the vibes on that day starting off pretty solid.
No, I still would go Barbie-Oppenheimer.
Fascinating. Kyle, anything to add before we get into other people's arguments? And we will reveal what our plans are after going through everything else.
I mean, I feel like Oppenheimer, because I know it's like much longer. I haven't watched the trailer for either of these, by the way.
Fair.
Kind of stopped watching movie trailers, but I feel like Oppenheimer's kind of the big nutritious meal you kind of have to eat before the cotton candy, like meaningless, nutritionless thing that is Barbie.
Okay, I resent meaningless.
No, I mean,
but I understand what you're saying. It's dessert.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of it more as an appetizer.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that okay. See that.
Yeah, I feel like I would I think the smart move is to get the thing, like, we've discussed on this podcast before. Kyle, I don't think you were a part of this discussion, but Brooks, you and I have talked about the notion of, like, and Kyle, we've had this discussion many times in real life, of liking a film but not enjoying it. Like, Inland Empire is one of my personal favorite examples. I fucking hate that movie, and it is also a 5-star film.
Yeah. Appreciation versus enjoyment.
Essentially. So I feel as though something like Oppenheimer that is tackling such heavy subject matter, like, you know, somebody who I don't know a shit ton about his life just because I've never really had much of a reason to. Like, I know who he is and why he is historically significant, but also, like, I feel like nobody really sets out in a career in science to kill people, and that is unfortunately what happened. So I feel like this is going to be intensely heavy. What is it, like 3 hours? An intensely heavy 3 hours about somebody who was trying to understand the world that he lived in better and accidentally wound up creating, or like found himself on the path to creating weapons of mass destruction that were actually used against real living people. And I feel like that is going to be the kind of film where I appreciate it. The entire experience of watching it is probably not going to be enjoyable or fun. It's probably going to leave me with a lot of things to think about. And I feel like I would like to, not that I think you should watch anything to quote-unquote get it over with, but I think I would like to structure my day with, like, having the, like, most intellectually challenging thing happen, like, somewhere, like, around, like, noon? Or, like, around the middle of my day, where I'm, like, at peak functioning, where, like, you know, the caffeine has kicked in, like, we're all good on that front, and then we can kind of just slide into the fun that is Barbie from there.
Like, obviously I have not seen either of these movies, so
that's the whole point.
Don't know the exact path that Oppenheimer is going to take and where it's going to end and how much stuff they're going to show.
Yeah.
But anytime I have watched a movie that dealt with things of that nature, I'm thinking about The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, because that movie scarred me.
That movie is a scarring experience, but I also don't think it is a very good movie. I find the dialogue in that film to be incredibly stilted.
I honestly don't remember because it's been so long since I watched it.
Fair enough. Not the point.
Yeah. But like, that kind of emotion and thinking about, like, oh man, this is all so messed up. Like, I don't know if I could have paid attention to another movie after that.
Fascinating. My thing is more that I don't want to, like, end my day with that.
Well, if you're watching the first one at noon, you're not ending the day. Because if you watch the, back to back.
Well, I mean, I'm going to assume that, like, where we are, I would assume that's going to vary slightly based on the times that your theater is showing things, especially when you factor in, like, trailers and whatever, because it's not like Oppenheimer's like 3 hours. It's not like 3 hours and then boom, immediately. Like, you're probably going to be in that theater for more than 3 hours. When you factor in, like, trailers and shit like that.
You can always have a palate cleanser when you get home, too.
This is also true. And, I mean, I've watched more than 3 movies in a day in my life. On multiple occasions. Mostly because of who I am as a person. So would we like to get into other people's arguments, unless anyone else has any responses to any of the things that we all just said?
I'd like to hear people's opinions on this.
Okay, so these are all in the chat for anyone who wants to take a look at them for themselves, but I am going to be reading them out loud for our audio listeners. First sort of argument I would like to bring up, or someone's schedule, from Twitter user at all caps ultragloss. That's kind of fun. They write, people seeing Barbie first are wild. The schedule needs to be black coffee and a cigarette, Oppenheimer around 11, parentheses, it's 3 hours, mimosas and brunch, Barbie around 6 or 7, dinner, drinks, club. And frankly, if I was off the next day as well, aside from like the black coffee and a cigarette, this is kind of ideal. Like, I would love to hit the club after seeing Barbie.
I've never like planned around watching a movie like this. I've just like sat down and like, what kind of thing am I roughly in the mood for?
Oh,
Made a decision.
wow, you're gonna have fun next Friday, or you're gonna have fun today by the time that this is reaching the general public. Yeah, thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm on board with the black coffee, not the cigarette part, and the mimosas. And
Or you know what? The single cigarette I ever smoke in my life, it'll be that.
I wonder how much the clubbing and drinks like after both movies is like how integral that is to the experience for this person, or if it's just because
I mean,
it happens to be Barbie that they're watching last.
I don't know. The dinner, drinks, and club after Barbie sounds like a really great time to me.
The thing is, like, I'm on board with all of those things, minus the cigarette, but I don't necessarily know that they're necessary for the experience, or that
I don't know that they're necessary for the experience either, but I think, like, if this is this person's ideal experience,
Yeah.
I mean, again, aside from, like, the black coffee and the cigarette, fantastic. I think this is an excellent schedule.
Sounds nice, but I also think you could plug in almost any 2 movies.
Fascinating. They have to like fit the act. I mean, if you're keeping this and you're only swapping the movies out of the schedule, they have to match the activities, though.
In what sense?
Like, what is another, like, probably harrowing film that would be appropriate to, like, black coffee and a cigarette, and then you watch it?
I'm sure there's...
Not to be a fucking Criterion hoe, but, like, come and see the horrific film about, I can't even remember what, I think it's the Belarusian... It is an armed conflict. I'll tell you that. I am not remembering the summary of this film off of my head. I have not even seen it, but on the list of, like, horrifying movies that are not horror movies, every Letterboxd list along those lines, number 1.
Yeah, I do see that a lot.
So, like, that, and actually here, let me look at I have one of those 100 movies bucket list posters, and I'm trying to see if there's anything on there that's genuinely upsetting, or if this one keeps it kind of light.
I like how this person is bookending Barbie with alcohol. Just mimosas before, then drinks and clubbing afterwards.
Honestly...
Meanwhile, they're going into Oppenheimer like wired and like stressed out from caffeine, nicotine.
I mean, is it smart? Maybe no. But does that feel like the state of mind? Like, does it fit the vibe, in my opinion? Yes.
It fits their presumed vibe for each movie. They haven't seen the movies yet, so
Okay, well, I mean, we can bring that up as many times as we need to.
Not the food angle. Do you eat like popcorn during Oppenheimer?
That doesn't feel right.
Just sitting there like munching on some Swedish fish.
you eat black licorice candy.
I feel like it might be wrong to have snacks during that movie.
What about beverages? Is it like a no consumption movie?
I think you can have water. That's it. That's the only thing that feels right to me. The thing is, I feel like all the things that you should be doing during Oppenheimer, aside from like getting a black coffee from Starbucks, you generally can't do in most movie theaters because I feel like for that, like, the vibe I'm getting from like everything I know about Oppenheimer thus far is like just bourbon. Like that's what you should have.
Plenty of movie theaters that have full bars.
Yeah, which I don't think we have, or at least not around Albany. I can't think of a single even like, you know, those movie theaters where it's like, oh, you can get dinner. I don't think we even have one of those.
We had a few when I lived in Columbus, and I used to go to them, and then I decided I didn't want to go anymore because, like, I kept drinking too much and not remembering the movies that I saw. To this day, I went and saw Green Zone with a bunch of friends, and then we kept buying pictures, and I'm like, I have no idea. Matt Damon's in it, I think.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. So I don't know that that's always like, man, I, paid to be here. I want to remember.
See, I feel like the like drinks during the movie experience is best for something that like is in theaters once again.
Mm-hmm.
Like your Rocky Horror Picture Show type beat.
Yeah, I'm thinking Monty Python.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any further comments on this person's schedule for Barbenheimer?
No.
If not, we can
Solid.
move.
I think it's a solid schedule.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I would go along with most of this. If you scroll down a bit, if you are looking at these, the next take, I guess, is by @bwags on Twitter. And they kind of take the opposite approach. Quoting thus, once again, I implore you all to see a Barbie matinee, have a dinner with your friends like a normal person, and then see this sicko shit once the sun has gone down. Referring to Oppenheimer.
Do they provide any additional detail?
No, not really.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like watching a matinee of Oppenheimer and then coming out of the theater into broad daylight somehow would be very upsetting. Like a little gremlin.
I
emerging.
don't think. I mean, again, we will reveal our plans. I don't think that that's wrong. Like, I don't think that that is an incorrect assessment.
I was trying to think about like why he would want, or they would want after the sun went down, and I was like, yeah, I could see that being
Yeah.
I can kind of sympathize. I like to watch horror movies like at night when it's dark,
I get that.
but it's not the same when I'm going to see something in a movie theater. Like,
Yeah,
I
because,
just-
like, you don't have to, like... I mean, if I was, like, in a situation where, like, my friends and I were, say, like, we're doing a horror movie marathon, so we're going to have to, like, create the vibe for ourselves during the daylight hours at some point, so, like, I mean, you get your blackout shades. But, like, you don't have to rely on yourself to, like, create the vibe should that be necessary in a movie theater. They are creating the vibe for you. So, like, something to consider.
creating the vibe means forbidding anybody from bringing snacks.
I didn't say forbid. I just don't think it feels right.
No, I mean that's what they should do. They're just like, nobody gets to snack. You will stare at the screen.
Yeah, you have to raw dog this.
Yeah.
Which, like, honestly, yeah. I do get the kind of wanting to emerge from the sort of very, like, dark I suppose I'm sure there's going to be some questions of ethics and philosophy. So like philosophical feature, like into the night, rather than like at 2 p.m. Like I do get it. I still think you should see Oppenheimer first, but I understand where this person is coming from.
Though that makes me think having Oppenheimer first and actually being able to like talk about it in between that and the Barbie movie would be nice.
Excellent point. Yeah, Kyle, anything else to add? Because if not, I think I've kind of said everything I have to say about this. Like, it's not me, but I get it.
I know it's on me for not having watched the trailers for these movies, but
I haven't either.
Is Barbie supposed to be like, oh, you haven't watched the trailer
No.
for Barbie?
No.
Or for either?
We're so informed.
Okay, well
I mean, I've seen
Well, that's the whole
clips.
point. I mean,
Oh, I've seen literally nothing about on either.
every time I go into the movies in the last couple of years and they show trailers for a movie that I'm gonna kind of want to see, they show like 3-4 minutes of it. They show so much. I'd rather just kind of know who's in it and decide what to go see from there.
Yeah, so what was the
What I
point
did
going to
for both
be?
of these.
I feel
I was
like
gonna ask if it was a comedy.
Oh, well, yeah. Although, it is explicitly not a children's movie. Barbie is PG-13.
Right.
So, putting that out there.
Yeah.
Alright, so are we good to move along?
Yeah.
Discussion, tweet discussion number 3. At, French. At Les Cinéphiles on Twitter. Real ones see Oppenheimer in the morning, go see Barbie at night, go to the club after Barbie, fumble every baddie they find, then go see Oppenheimer again at like 3 a.m. and smoke the most depressing cigarette of their lives.
God.
I think that's too much, TM.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Like, I'm honestly with them up until the, even after the fumbling every baddie. Like, just stop there. Fumble everyone and stop there.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if it weren't like 3 hours long.
That's the thing. The fact that it is a 3-hour movie. And I am not against a 3-hour movie. I have said this multiple times. I hate the attitude of like, oh, if you can't tell your story in 90 minutes and like, it's not worth it. Like, no, shut up. It takes as long as it takes.
I think if you're gonna do a bookend, Barbie bookends would make more sense.
Yeah, honestly. Like, you hype yourself up, you go watch the deeply upsetting thing, and then you restore the vibe.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
Yeah, and then you go to the club.
Yep.
Like it's agreed upon by all these people that Oppenheimer is like the upsetting one. Why would you choose to watch it again as the sun is coming up?
Because they fumbled everyone in the club, so they're already... It's like when you put on sad music when you're already sad.
Again, it's not necessarily enjoyable, but you appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I imagine it's going to be one of those movies you have to watch more than once to like really take it in and appreciate it.
I mean, I would say that is the case for your average Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly something like Memento, but...
Yeah.
I watched Interstellar years ago, and I remember
I have never seen Interstellar.
hating it. Like, hating it, thinking it was the most, like, just, like, the sappiest, like, most manipulative thing, and boring, and I just didn't like it at all. And lately I've been thinking I probably didn't appreciate it enough for what it was. Because I have liked most of his other movies, so...
Sometimes things are worth a revisit. Yeah, any further thoughts, I suppose, before we reveal our schedule?
Really, but I did have the thought, like, what kind of cool cups is the movie theater going to have for the Barbie movie?
Hot pink, baby.
I'm, like, so excited to see what they have. Because they
What?
often do, or like the metal popcorn tins.
Honestly, if there is a hot pink Barbie cup, that may be the first time in my life that I get the stupid slushy cup at a movie theater.
Yeah, I've
I've
Do
never
they
never
even
done
do
that
that?
before. Hmm?
They do that? They release like
Oh, yeah.
tie-in like stuff at the concession
Hmm.
in
Yep.
the movie theater? I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
like
Maybe in like Star Wars cases, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
not a
I used to work at a
studio.
movie theater.
huh.
It sucked. I hated it. Although my coworkers were lovely, and I did like the fact that I got to see free movies sometimes, and also I got movie posters out of the bin in the back after they took them down. But I just
That's a
hate
lot of
dealing with
perks.
customers.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, should we reveal our schedule for the day? Planned by me because I am so horrendously type A.
Reveal.
Okay, so here's the plan. It's breakfast at like 10, Oppenheimer at noon, like early dinner, late lunch, debrief, Starbucks and slash or boba, then Barbie at 6:40.
Something else,
No, because I gotta work the next day, damn it.
having one drink in your home.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the case. I will sip one cocktail at my house. We'll find out.
Well, little nightcap. Something pink.
Of course.
That
Yeah, Brooks, you can comment on that as you see fit. Unless
yeah,
that's everything there is to say.
I think that aligns with everything that you've been saying up to this point.
And I
Right.
and not that I don't understand where people are like wait to see the really heavy shit and to like see this sicko shit once the sun has gone down. I do get it. It's just kind of not me.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just I see the Barbie movie as sort of a. I don't mean to like diminish it by calling it a warm up, but like it's like you're going to a movie and you're enjoying it, and it's like, all right, I've had fun, I'm ready to get down to business. Like that's my
I get it. Kyle,
my
you are allowed to critique our schedule if you would like. I know that I'm the one who like.
I I think it's I like it the way it is.
All
The
right,
few
cool.
times that I've watched two movies like back to back in the same day, like alone at home, I just pick movies that are kind of similar in theme.
I mean,
So
we've
this is
done
the
that.
first
We've
time,
definitely watched like two fucking what's his face Cronenberg movies in one day.
did we?
Yeah, we watched The Fly
Oh,
and then we watched Eastern Promises.
oh yeah,
I think we've done that multiple times. Not like Cronenberg specifically, but like,
that was a depressing day.
was it?
I mean, those are two depressing
They
movies.
are two depressing movies, but I was kind of vibe. I mean, I was kind of vibing just because I hadn't seen The Fly before, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is really fucking good." Anyway, um, so the next question: which of the two films, Barbie or Oppenheimer, do we think is going to perform better at the box office on opening day?
Barbie.
Probably Barbie.
Yeah, I think so too. Although I am really surprised that they've sold like I don't remember if it was 20,000 or 200,000 like double feature tick. Like
It was
people have
20,000.
bought the
I
ticket
know the exact headline you're talking about. That like all the like
the
people who are
same.
like AMC members, like
Mhm.
20,000 AMC members have purchased tickets to see Barbie and Oppenheimer on the same
Oh,
day.
that's just AMC.
That's just people who are AMC members. So like,
Wow,
yeah,
that's a lot of ticket sales.
that is a lot of ticket sales, and that is not reflective of all ticket sales. So this is going to be very interesting. I also think it's going to be really interesting the number of people who are probably going to be sitting in the theater for Oppenheimer in their like bubblegum pink, like Barbie type outfits in anticipation of going to see Barbie after seeing Oppenheimer. Because that's going to be me.
Be clear, this is people that were just buying the tickets separately. It wasn't like AMC being like,
No, they
"Hey,
did
we got."
not.
That would be hilarious.
Although, you know what's gonna... Somebody on Twitter pointed this out, and I will try to find this. You know what pissed me off when they pointed this out? Because they're so right. That people... That, like, studios are gonna try to manufacture this now. Like,
Like,
releasing
yeah.
two, like, diametrically opposed films on the same day. On purpose. And then being like, haha, it's just like Barbie and Oppenheimer. Shut up. This is
I don't know if it's
grassroots.
something that you can recreate like this, though.
Exactly, but they're gonna try to, and it's gonna be really annoying. Anyway. Also, I just love, like, other things that I will have to find. One, I love that there's an interview of Cillian Murphy saying that he is indeed going to go see Barbie, King. And there's also a picture of Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie standing outside the movie theater. Like, you know how they have the poster, like, next to the entrance to the theater? Like, standing in front of the one for Oppenheimer, tickets in hand. I was like, alright, yeah, real recognizes real.
I love how Margot Robbie's been dressing like a Barbie.
Oh my god, I know. It's been
So,
fucking iconic. Her stylist is having the most fun ever, and I wish that were me. Also, I'm just so excited for the whole Ryan Gosling is Ken thing, because I didn't understand why people cared about Ryan Gosling until I saw La La Land.
Mm.
And then I was like, oh shit, I get it. And, like, I just get it even more now, like, everything I find out about him because of this movie. Like, one, he keeps saying stuff in interviews that is just, like, it makes no sense. Like, my boy went too like, somebody said he went too method to play Ken, and now his brain doesn't work anymore. Which is just so funny, because I cannot wait to see a beautiful man being dumb as rocks on screen. And also, he's a Doctor Who fan, like, big time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He, like, there's some, like, when Ncuti Gatwa was announced as a 14th Doctor, because he's one of the Kens in the Barbie movie, apparently Ryan Gosling showed up at his trailer and was like, oh my god, I'm such a huge Doctor Who fan. I was like... Which just proves, once and for all, that Doctor Who is for sexy people. If you're hot, you'll get it. Anyway... yeah, I think Barbie is probably going to perform better on opening day, although I'm really not looking forward to annoying film bros, like, pointing to that as, like, the death of, like, cinema and critical thinking. I can already, like, see the tweets in my mind and the Reddit comments, and I would just like to preemptively say, shut up.
Then, I mean, even if the movie is bad, how many terrible movies have been produced?
Yeah.
They've never destroyed.
Or lamenting the fact that Barbie outsold Oppenheimer, if that is the case, as like, oh, critical thinking in cinema are dead. It's like, no. Sometimes people just don't want to, like, watch something that has a chance of making them feel awful.
Yeah.
Like, about humanity.
But I think also Barbie, there's the nostalgia factor for a lot of people that...
This is also very true. And, like, even though it is not, like, a quote-unquote kids movie, like, I'm sure that there are going to be, like, people in the, like, 10 to 14 range that do get taken by their parents. So, like, yeah. So, like, I feel like that is going to give them an edge as well, because you cannot enter a movie no, that's NC-17. But even then, Oppenheimer's R-rated, so, like, you've got that as a hurdle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle, what were you gonna say?
I can't remember, but I had another thought. Do you know what the rating is, Barbie?
It's PG-13.
PG-13? Is that just because everything, like, nothing's really PG anymore except, like, films for small children? I mean,
I don't think... I am fairly certain that it is explicitly, like, not a children's film.
I can't
Sexual content in it.
wrap my head around that. Yeah.
I mean, hold on, I can...
Like a kids movie for adults. It's just these two pretty people playing toy dolls.
Barbie...
But they're real people, but they're dolls. I don't...
rating. Listen. Yeah, it's PG-13.
Okay. So there can be like one shocking moment, like
Technically, if it's PG-13,
sexuality or
you get one F-bomb. You get one non-sexual F-bomb every PG-13 movie, and the Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu, was originally going to be PG-13, but then they downgraded it to PG because everyone was saying, like, okay, great, that means Pikachu gets to say fuck once. And Nintendo was like, mm-mm.
I wonder, the thought that keeps popping into my head is one of the things that I imagine they're gonna make a joke about is like Barbie and Ken's like the dolls
Lack
and
of genitals.
genitals. And so I imagine there's probably some scene where they're making a joke about that, and maybe even like Pants Ken or something.
That would be really funny.
Because that would get it a PG-13, I would imagine.
Oh, definitely. But actually, random thing that I just remembered about knowing that you get one non-sexual F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. I was watching, I went to go see Jojo Rabbit in the movie theaters with my mom. And afterwards, we left and we were talking about it. And I was like, I knew when Jojo, like, kicks Taika Waititi as Hitler out of the window, I was like, I knew that's where they were going to do it. Because and I think I was explaining to my mom that that is the rule with the PG-13 rating. And I was like, I knew that's where it was going to be. Like, as soon as that scene started, I was like, oh, I bet this is it. Yeah, I hope Barbie says fuck.
Yeah.
I think that would be so funny. It's probably not going to happen, but holy shit if it does. Also, just thing I keep forgetting, even though I'm, like, genuinely excited about it, because there's so many other things in my mind every time I think about this movie. Fucking Jamie Demetriou's in it.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
In like a big part, or is he just?
I would say a fairly major side character is the vibe I have gotten. I could be wrong. Like, he's not just like he's not just like a cameo.
All my questions could be answered by just watching the trailer, or some of them could be answered by watching a trailer.
I mean, if you've committed to the bit thus far, as I also have. Actually, no, I lied. I saw, like, the first, like, teaser trailer. I haven't watched the entire, like, ones that they released that are way too long. I saw, like, the first 2 teasers, which, frankly, is all you need, in my opinion. Because, that's what I think the trailer, like, the whole general thing about trailers, like, they always release a teaser for the trailer. It's like, that's all you need. Just give people a vague vibe so they can decide whether they want to go see it or not. You don't need a trailer for the trailer.
Well, it used to be before the internet. Because they would have to fit a 30-second TV spot.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're like, oh, we have the internet, so we can do the 30-second, and then...
I've talked about this before here. I also remember, like, the amount of time you had to wait before something was released on, like, back in ye older days, like, video or DVD. Oh my god, it used to be forever. I remember leaving the movie theaters as a kid, like, having really liked something and just being like, shit. Like, I'm not gonna be able to see that again for, like, a year.
Yeah. Simpler times.
Simpler times indeed.
And yet more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it is easier to just do things online. Like, at least you don't have to do paper forms anymore.
I forget how to write.
Mood. But yeah. Bringing us back to the actual question, which we have all already answered, Barbie is definitely going to perform better at the box office on opening day. I think it's kind of obvious.
Probably overall, would be my guess.
Also very possible. I feel as though people might see the length on Oppenheimer and just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, like, in my own house.
Yep.
So, like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But actually, that kind of, speaking of the length of that movie, the final tweet that I have saved to discuss for today is this one by @plume__, and it is thus: If a movie is 3+ hours long, the theater should pause for a bathroom break at some point. There should be a button you can press on the armrest when you have to pee, and when a certain percentage of people press the button, they pause the movie. Why don't we have this? Like, if
I agree with, like,
60% of the people in the movie theater have to piss, you should be able to pause the movie for 10 minutes.
I mean, I feel like that's overcomplicating it. Like, just put in an intermission.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's fair. But
Just
they
cut
don't
it.
plan in intermissions anymore, and it's annoying.
Cut.
They should.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you.
The
and I
intermissions are part of movies. They've never been like a thing that the theater does.
Yeah. So bring back intermissions or do that if you are really against the notion of the intermission for whatever reason.
read some of the comments on that thing. That
Oh,
you just
wonderful.
read.
I should have thought of that. Or I should have done that. Please,
And
the
there was
floor is
this-
yours.
There was this whole debate about there was somebody who claimed that in Italy they always have intermissions in their movies. And
Interesting.
then somebody else came in and said, no, I've never experienced that in my life. And somebody else said, I've never been to a movie that didn't have one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but
maybe if someone's, like, seeing everything at, like... Because, like, I know that there are, like, local independent cinemas that still do get, like, your... Like, your Marvel movies, your Star Wars, your whatevers. And maybe that's just policy at that theater.
Well, they said it was multiple theaters, like everywhere they went.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's true or not. I was like,
I
I'm
wonder
gonna
if
Google it.
Maybe we could do, like, a survey with, like, a country-by-country breakdown or something.
Yeah.
Because,
I
like,
wonder
maybe
if-
that's
did they
just
used to
standard
do
in
it?
some places.
I think they did it years ago because I know like Ben-Hur and Lawrence of Arabia, like those movies have intermissions.
Oh,
like,
if you
built
watch
into
The
them.
Sound of Music, there is an intermission. Like, even now, like, if you watch that movie the whole way through, there is an intermission title card that they have not edited out.
Theater in Columbus that I used to go to, it was one of those like really fancy ass theaters where they had like, musicals and things like that. But in the summer, every couple weeks they would show like an older movie there.
Oh, that's what they do at the
Um,
theater where they do the Rocky Horror Picture Show here.
ah,
They like it's I've seen like stand-up comedy there, but they also like show old movies sometimes. Anyway, continue.
yeah, but they would always do an intermission. So I saw Meaning of Life there once, and so we
Nice.
went and got our snacks and sat, and it's like all colored in gold and super red velvet and stuff like that, and we're just
Yeah.
watching, you know, this guy profusely vomiting while eating snacks. Um, and so I always appreciated that chance to get up and stretch the legs, right? It just made it more of like an experience, I think.
Yeah.
And one of the really cool things about it was they actually, on the stage up front, they have a piano on a platform that rises up out of the stage and then goes back in.
That's so fun.
So before every movie, there would just be the guy playing piano, and then it would start, and he would lower back down. And then intermission time, it rises back up, and he
Oh
plays
my-
the piano for intermission, and then
Wait, that's so fun.
yeah, loved that. And it's like, yeah, it just makes it more of an event. I feel like it's not just I'm just gonna sit here and watch a thing. It's I'm gonna have an experience.
Actually, that just like tangentially reminded me of something. Kyle, is Ben-Hur silent?
Not the one from the 50s that I was thinking of. There's an older one I think that maybe, I'm not sure though.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I know, like, it made me think of this because of the piano rising out of the stage thing. Because, like, that's what used to happen. You used to have somebody playing along at the silent film,
Mm-hmm.
which, like, damn, that's cool. Honestly, I would like to see that. Like, I'm sure that there's, like, art house theaters that still do that as, like, an event, like, every couple months or something. I would really like to go see a silent film with, like, a live piano player or, like, a live musician. That would be
believe
awesome.
I believe they did that at a screening of Metropolis around here recently. with like a because like all the scores, that are that accompany that movie on
It's
like
probably
home
public domain
releases
by now.
were like after the fact. Yeah. No, maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I remember when I did the study abroad, like there was a point where like there were various like things you could choose to do on like some of the days where there weren't classes, and I think we wound up going to a museum instead of doing this, but I think that they were showing a silent film, and like somebody was there as like it was like some like music professor or like a professional in some capacity who was like playing along to a silent film. So that is a thing I would kind of just adding that to my bucket list right now. That is a thing I would very much like to do. And honestly, Metropolis sounds like a fantastic choice for that. Or maybe like Dr. Caligari would be cool because I've seen that one already, and I just think that would be very entertaining.
And I changed my mind. I think the button thing is better than just intermission. And here's
Interesting.
I was imagining, what if you're watching a movie that's like an hour and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not going to have to go to the bathroom within that hour and a half, and I'm just going to be irritated if I have to sit around and wait after 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe in a movie like that, we don't reach whatever the threshold is, like 60% of people pushing the button, so we just don't do it.
Yeah.
So I've switched. I'm now agreeing with the person.
I think you make an excellent point. Like, I like the idea of the built-in intermission. That is nice. But maybe the built-in intermission we save for something for like movies over a certain length, and other than that, it's just the button system.
Well, in the tweet it said over 3 hours long, right?
That is the example
Or
that they gave. Yes.
oh, I thought they were saying.
Oh, so then if a movie is 3+ hours long, so then maybe that is the well.
No, because I feel like even
I feel like even a 2.5 hour movie or a 2 hour movie, like maybe it's not a problem for
Right.
me, but I think like the theater could get to a 60% of people would be like, okay, bathroom break would be nice right now. I'm not only about this when it like is convenient for me.
the buttons are just going to be there. You've already installed them.
Yeah, might as well. And like maybe you don't like turn on the system for the buttons if it's because I know like Asteroid City is like 75 minutes long. Like we don't need that. Just don't have them be active. Like if you press them, they do nothing. But like for your Oppenheimers, your Dunes, your why am I not thinking of another lengthy film? Come on, Bridget, you can do better than this. Someone please help me.
Avatar.
Your avatars, thank
Avatar.
you. Then you bring them online.
It could quickly devolve into chaos.
I mean,
People don't
can't
do different
everything?
buttons. I just think of like Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy, like being told not to press the button. And
I
of
was
course he's
never
gonna
allowed
press
to
the
watch Ren and Stimpy.
Read the original poster's follow-up post.
No, I
About
did
this-
not.
I just realized we had to address that part. They had a second post
Okay.
where they said like there would be a second button that people can push to peer pressure people that have not pushed the first button in the
Okay, that's definitely gonna cause trouble.
I can't remember exactly how it was phrased.
That I think might be going a little bit too far.
It was an interesting notion. And it's like, why would you want to add that?
I think you want to add that because it's funny when you post it on Twitter.
Now I want to look at the exact wording and it's bothering me. Computer's being laggy though.
I just want to announce this. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but Oliver just looks so angelic asleep in the beanbag right now. My sleepy little boy. Anyway. What are we finding out?
I should have just used my phone. My computer's been like lagging for some weird reason. And then I'm like, wait, my phone's sitting right here. Steam Link.
I know that if I
Okay,
go to
there it
the
is.
theater, go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, so the original poster said there's a second buttoned. I added a T. There's a second button that peer pressures everyone else into pressing their first button. Second button causes everyone's seats to shake a little bit. This is my socialist utopia.
That's kind of fun.
I forgot about the seat shaking part.
I mean, maybe it would be useful if, like, 53% of the theater, like, really has to piss. I don't know.
So
I
guess
like
it's
the
like
comment about the socialist utopia. I don't know why I find that as funny as I do.
you push the first button if you have to go to the bathroom, and you only push the second one if it's like dire. That's
Yeah.
when the peer pressuring.
Yeah. That seems. I mean, I
Then the
don't know.
majority.
I feel like this could quickly become chaotic, but if ever. Again, in perhaps a socialist utopia where everyone is using it fairly, that could be helpful.
Yeah, because like in that case, if there's a minority of people that have to go to the bathroom, but like they really have to go, that gives them a way to signal to the other people, like I know the rest of you don't have to go,
Like,
but
I
like we're
know.
dying.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. This probably would only work in a socialist utopia, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so it's sort of
There,
quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
I was in the theater for about 3 hours and 45 minutes when I saw Avatar. I could have used this button.
There
I
you
was very
go.
uncomfortable at one point.
Rip. All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else to say about all of the points that were made here today, I think that's going to bring us to the weekly worsening. And boy, oh boy, would you like to start or shall I?
Because we didn't record last week, so
No,
we've got
we
2
didn't.
weeks.
So we have 2 weeks worth of things, but I mean, it's not like they're particularly new things. I just continue to become more insane. Brooks,
Well, yeah, that's
would you like to go first?
I can.
I feel like you often don't, so let's do that.
Okay. So I actually checked today to see how much time I've spent playing Zelda. Over 170 hours. So, good amount. I also
Wow.
now bought a second controller that is transparent and has neon lights, because that's who I am now. Yeah, that's just the level I'm working with. My print collection continues to grow because I went to an art festival, and you guys have seen my Cat Thulu and Meowdusa.
Yes, I have. They're delightful.
So I came across that guy again, and I now have the Catmeleon.
How could you resist?
And wait for it, the Catabite.
Oh, that's fantastic!
Right?
Oh, it's a Sphinx.
This is Sphinx Kitty. Weird
Oh
little
my god.
raw chicken looking ass.
Yeah. So
I
there's
need to
that.
hit this person up.
Your walls are
the-
very blank. You definitely do.
The brand is called Pickled Punks, but he
Amazing.
doesn't actually sell anything online.
Oh, big sad.
Yeah, but he does he's based in Syracuse, so he does tons of stuff around the area. And we had a long talk. He's thinking about getting into Comic Cons, or he actually gave me a little flyer thing for like a curiosity festival thing that's happening.
Ooh.
I just forgot to look at it.
All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but weekend before last I went to the Nickel City Comic Con in Buffalo.
Yes. How was that?
Man, I got such a haul. I have more show and tell. So there's this guy who draws pictures with ballpoint pens. So I've put them in a specific order. I have 4 of them from least exciting to most exciting.
Okay.
I have Link, because of course, the obsessive Zelda playing. Then we got Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Right? And then my beloved Inosuke.
Amazing.
And then finally, this is the whole reason I wanted to buy from this guy.
Yeah!
Wow.
Oh, Ryuk, my beloved.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the only other one he had was light, and I was like, ugh.
Fuck that
Um,
little prick.
Now, I also got another poster that was a new thing that this guy had just drawn. It was the first one he ever sold, so he actually wrote on the back of it and signed it and everything.
Aw. Oh. That's so cute.
Yeah, and it's the glare because it's in a frame, but it's got like fun little detail, like you can actually see one of the pumpkin head people here in the background, and yeah. But the guy said like it was one of his wife's favorite shows, and so he drew it for her. He's like, "So you can thank my wife," and I was like, "Well,
That's
is she
so
here?"
cute.
Yeah, I got so excited. Um, so many other things that I got like all these little Demon Slayer tiny stuffed animals. Of
Amazing.
which kind, there's only 4 of them. I also got 20 something Lego figures, like the little minifigures.
Girl.
Mostly Demon Slayer, a lot of Doctor Who because this guy had a bunch on clearance. But
Alright,
Bridget,
hell yeah.
I purchased one for you.
For me?
Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Oh, focus.
Oh.
Rem, my beloved.
And she has a little death note in her hand.
Oh my god. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it.
That was the only
Thank
death note
you.
one I found, but I was like, is that Rem?
I was about to say, like, for that to be the only Death Note one, that's a bold choice and I like it.
Yeah, that's why I was blown away. I was like, Rem?
Oh, my
Yeah,
love.
yeah, I went overboard and I have nowhere to put these pictures. I don't know.
Cool.
So that's why they're still just sitting here. They're all framed and stuff, just sitting around.
Sweet. I love it.
Except for my new cat pictures, because I just got those. I gotta get frames, but
Very nice. Well, most of how I'm worse has to do with Ghost. Fucking shocker. But,
the ritual approaches.
the ritual approaches.
Funko!
Funko Papa Emeritus!
I didn't know I did Funkos.
I love them. They've done a couple. This is the only one I've been able to get my hands on thus far because the other ones are discontinued, but I'm trying. I really am. Yeah, so I have my little Papa Emeritus Funko, and I love him so much. And, I bought 2 more Ghost shirts and another sweatshirt, and also I spent most of today, figuring, like, drawing and cutting, right here, these out of, one of these is not quite done yet, but these out of, silver spandex, because I'm going to put them on a bralette so I can flash the lead singer of Ghost, and not get arrested. So I am making crucifix titty bikini top, essentially, to wear under the Ghost crop top at the ritual.
You say that's
To be fair, if you did
spandex?
get arrested, that
Yes, it is. Well, actually, it is silver lycra. So, spandex and some other shit. If I did get arrested, honestly,
be
that'd be pretty cool. That would be a cool thing to have on, like, you know, a cool thing to whip out at a party. Be like, oh yeah, I was arrested for showing my tits at a Ghost concert. But, frankly, even if you did, like, flash your tits at somebody at a concert, I feel like that's, like, the last place you're gonna get arrested for that, because that's been happening forever.
yeah. I don't think it matters.
But yeah, my brain is rotted. It is nothing but Ghost. Thank you. Also, I'm almost done reading Death Note.
Nice. I just had to get my second box set of Attack on Titan, so
Sweet! Yeah, Chainsaw Man is next for me.
yeah.
Kyle, how about you? How are you worse this week?
I don't know about worse. I just dove into Well, I also have played probably at least 200 hours of Zelda
That counts.
since Tears of the Kingdom came out. And I'm working my way through Dune right now, which is very
Getting
enjoyable.
into Dune is definitely a way that you're becoming worse. And I say this with nothing but love in my heart because because Dune has also made me worse as a person. Like significantly.
Oh, so when you say worse, you mean better.
The worsening is
Worse.
how is a way that you are more authentically yourself that maybe drives your friends a little bit insane, but they still put up with you?
Oh, forgetting the task that I was doing at work because I'm thinking about reading Dune.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is yeah. What makes you more difficult to put up with in a fun way?
Yeah.
That is what the weekly worsening is.
I forgot to show you the most exciting purchase of all at the Comic-Con, but I don't have them with me, so I'm texting a picture.
What do you mean you don't have them with you?
They're downstairs.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you pre-order something?
Oh, no, no, no. In here, let me...
Okay. Those are fun. That's fun.
Yeah, I...
Oh, multi-pack.
It was... I just sent it to you too. I... It was literally like the last minute of the convention because it was the last day, last minute. We were walking toward the steps to leave, and out of the corner of my eye, like, what is that?
Who's that?
Creepy paper.
Creepy babe. Oh my god, the day we're recording this is the 12th. Fucking What We Do in the Shadows premieres tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah.
Which
I also thought about that significantly the last couple days.
as you should. We haven't discussed this yet, Brooks. I think we're gonna have to stagger the streams by a week because it airs at 10 o'clock on Thursday nights.
Oh, that's a problem. I took one of these pictures off my manga shelf for show and tell. That
Hi,
didn't
Luna.
take long. There's a cat on it.
Hi, Boo-Boo.
I specifically, like, for a while when I didn't have anything on it, was just putting empty boxes so they wouldn't jump up there. I left it unattended. I just took the picture down, like, right before we started.
If they
Didn't take
fits,
that
they
long.
sits. But yeah, so
the
consider
ways
that an announcement, I guess. We are going to be 1 week behind in talking about new Shadows episodes because I don't see a reasonable way for us to work around that.
Which I feel like that's so difficult. You know, because you'll have watched it, like, want to talk about it, and
I mean, perhaps it will be, but also this is going to be the exact opposite experience of us watching it literally the day before and then talking about it. Like, have some time to ruminate. So maybe that'll change the discussion. Who knows? But consider this an announcement because by the time you're seeing this, the first episode will have aired, but we will be discussing it on the stream next week.
yeah,
So
full later.
consider that the announcement, and also I'll put that on our Twitter and Facebook and all that fun stuff. But I think that's going to bring us to a close for today. Unless anyone else has anything they would like to announce, bring up, point out.
Nothing in mind.
Fantastic. All right then. As always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. Adios. This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks, featuring special guest Kyle Bristol. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98 and at AnnSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch and Facebook, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon for early access to episodes and fun bonus content. Thanks for listening!